free to participate in this performance. And tonight we will be able to enjoy his great performance. We'll provide many great performances. And in the end, we have an innovative modern dance together with our music, with a musician's Shen Wei, because he performed back in 2008, the Olympic opening ceremony, with a very innovative performance, dance performance, and he was dancing on a scroll paper with the traditional Chinese painting. And we're also showcasing a very important piece of work in China's symphony music history because it was as 30 minutes long. It shows how we respected the Chinese culture, our care and love in the Chinese culture, which is represented in this piece of music. That is how I made this piece of work. I'm really proud that it can be showcased in Shenzhen this year. And also we have invited performers from Latin America, from Cuba. Jazz music is quite special, different from our Oriental music. And we also have a trio of performance from Russia. We have a very diversified program. And also we have a piano soloist performance, which will be presented in our music festival, and also famous composer performing in this festival. And also, I think it will be widely accepted by the public. First of all, we want to be accessible to our community, and also we want to invite well-known performers from all over the world, even from a distant country like Iran, so that people can see these performers and realize how diversified our culture is. Those pieces, the art pieces, showcase a high level of art value. And I think from this festival, it is a great combination of sense and sensibilities. And we see this performance and we learn to appreciate how beautiful the culture is and also widen your scope of imagination. I think this will serve the purpose of why we want to showcase this music festival. We want to provide a platform where those important high-value musicians and artists will be able to collaborate and work together. Why do we pick Shenzhen? Because Shenzhen is an important city in China, and it is the 40th anniversary of China's reform and opening up. Shenzhen is a leader in China's reform. I have participated in many celebrations here, and we are holding a grand festival here in Shenzhen. It is a great moment to celebrate it. It is monumental for China as well as Southeast Asia, and we will expand its footprints to other countries, and we hope that other countries, other performers will actually be very actively participating in this kind of music festival. Thank you. Chairman Yes said that the music festival this year not only showcase a performance from China, but also from Latin America, Europe. Now we have artists from Argentina and bandoneon master Walter Rios. He is a grandmaster bandoneon from Argentina and also a symbol of Argentinian tango. I was just talking to Mr. Rios. I saw his bandoneon. In the performance, you can actually observe this piece of instrument. It is tiny, with delicate designs and patterns, with Argentine characteristics. It was a present from 50 years ago from his tutor, from his teacher, so it was very meaningful to him. So we will invite him to tell us what are the features of this piece of music. Mr. O is Mr. Rios' interpreter. We would love to know what are the features of this instrument.
por lo tanto, estos ya pasaron a ser instrumentos antiguos. Este instrumento que traje es del año 1938, una de las mejores series, AA, su fabricante era Alfred Arnold, y por supuesto que es una de las mejores series, y es fantástico lo que suenan. Después hubo una marca más de la misma fábrica, que fue el Premier, también un muy buen instrumento. Ahora se están tratando en Argentina también un afinador luthier alemán, de origen alemán. Él ha sacado un bandoneón, muy buen instrumento. Anoche estuvimos hablando con él, justamente acá con mi amigo Gaviota. Y hay un interés y una intención muy ambiciosa, por suerte, nada menos, de poder llegar a, ya el viaje anterior, de poder llegar a ser el bandoneón argentino-chino.
请您给翻译一下这个西班牙语，我们都听不懂。
对，他说的内容比较多，我就翻译一下，简单就大概的翻译一下。它呢是我们看到的这台琴呢叫班多内手风琴，是一台现在我们看到的是非常古老。
It is a piece of instrument. It is an ancient instrument. It was made by Germans back in the 19th century, in the early 19th century. And back in the 19th century, about 70s and 80s, was brought by German sailors to Buenos Aires, to Argentina. And this piece of instrument, back in 1942, during the Second World War, the German factory that manufactures this instrument actually went broke and stopped the production of bandoneon. And this concert, the bandoneon you can see now, was produced in 1938, was produced by AA, was the best brand back then. The AA was the initial of the founder of this brand, but this brand is so far the most well-known brand for bandoneon. And this factory also produces another brand of instrument. It means premium in English. And as I said before, what are the features of this instrument? For what kind of dances, music? Well, let me interpret what he said. We'll continue with your questions. And now, in 1942, there was no large-scale production of bandoneon. In Argentina, we have good mechanics who are German descent, living in Argentina. And Mr. Rios actually has a plan to promote bandoneon in China, because we know China is a large manufacturing China with all the great resources here. We can produce this instrument together with Argentina, this precious piece of instrument. We actually talked about this plan yesterday. It's a great plan indeed. From my understanding, bandoneon is not only loved by people from Argentina, it is also is great piece of instrument in tango performance. And also Mr. Rios actually has mentors, or actually students from China, and he is going to perform Adios Nonino, meaning goodbye father. There is a sad story to this piece of music.
es Nonino le decía Astor Piazzolla, su autor, a su padre. Entonces, él estando de gira en Puerto Rico, años 52, 53, no recuerdo bien en este momento, muere su padre en la ciudad de Mar del Plata y él no podía llegar porque no podía suspender la gira, y el dolor fue muy, muy tremendo, y le salió un semejante tema que consideramos uno de los mejores temas más sentido que Astor Piazzolla compuso. Entonces, yo considero que es muy importante para la música de Astor Piazzolla y para la música tango contemporáneo.
Adios Nonino was composed by Astor Piazzolla. It was dedicated to his father back in 1959 when Piazzolla was performing in Puerto Rico. His father, back in his hometown in Argentina, a city of Argentina, he passed away in a car accident. At the time, Mr. Piazzolla couldn't go back to attend his father's funeral. So during the tour performance, when he heard this piece of news, he was extremely sad and composed this piece of work. It was considered one of the most important pieces of work of Piazzolla and one of the most important from modern tango. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Reels. And all of us know Dunhuang is a precious place for the Silk Road, and pipa, this piece of instrument, is a cornerstone of the Dunhuang history. And a piece of music that is going to be performed tonight is called Land of Bliss. All the instruments involved are inspired by the Dunhuang murals. Now let us welcome performance for this piece to present to us the pipa and lotus run and slim waist drum for us to take a look at them. These performances are from China National Traditional Orchestra. We call it the slim waist drum. Why do we call it the slim waist? Because of the shape. You see, it's slim in the middle, wider on the two sides. Do we actually see this kind of drum on the mural? Yes, of course. On the Dunhuang mural, on the 71 and 334 cave, you can see this kind of drum. And there's a zheng and slim waist drum in the murals of these two caves. And in the 334 cave, you can also see the slim waist drum. And then we stopped using this kind of drum, but it was transferred, or it was actually used in South Korea, in the Korean peninsula, as well as in Japan. But according to the pattern in the mural, we replicate this instrument and for this piece of performance. Let us invite other performers to introduce other instruments to us. All of you are going to perform together, right? Tonight? Let them talk about their instrument one by one because they're quite different. And we just talked about the slim waist drum. What about... We only saw the pictures on the mural and then replicate the instruments. What about the tone quality, the quality of the sound? Where do you have the pitches are quite different. See the low here and the high here on this side. So through the rhythms, you can see the difference of the pitches. Could you perform just a little piece, a small piece of music for us? In the Land of Blues, you can hear this part. Wow. It really sounds great. Makes a grander atmosphere. And this is Lotus Run, a plucked string instrument. In the number 217 cave, we replicate this instrument. What kind of melody is this? From ancient times? It's an ancient melody. I feel I get a sense of modern style here. So, Run is considered an ancient guitar. It is the prototype is Run. It has a more than 2,000 history because it comes from Pipa in the Han Dynasty, about West Jin Dynasty. And one of the most well-known musician's last name is Ruan, and this instrument was named after him. What we have now is the 5-string pipa from Tang Dynasty. We can see this instrument on the murals, right? According to the prototype on the murals, we replicated this instrument. In Nara of Japan, we can actually one instrument that is very similar to this in the museum. And we replicated the patterns from the Tang Dynasty on this instrument. What are the stories of this design? It was designed by our composer and director. He designed this instrument, the patterns on this instrument, according to the murals and history of Dunhuang. He made a copy of this instrument according to the historical records, the patterns recorded on these books. I'm not so sure if I'm being absolutely accurate here. We can see a camel, a feature of the desert culture in the West. On the back, you can see very delicate designs, shells. On a pipa, we actually use a specially made fingernails, but now we're using another tool to pluck the strings on this flute. Is that also an ancient melody? I want to hear the sound quality of this instrument. And what you're wearing is also inspired by Tang Dynasty, right? It is also our performing attire. We also have a performance, a stage performance, and we have adapted the performance tonight to that performance. there's also a history, a story related to this outfit. We'll invite one of the directors to tell you the story. Could you tell us the story behind these instruments? They all enjoy long history in modern society. When we appreciate these instruments, when we learn or understand the instrument, how could we better learn to appreciate them? Of course, it's a combination of ancient and modern, because this piece of music is based on the decoded pipa scores back in the Dunhuang period. All of these are original, that is adapted to how we appreciate music now. And I was inspired by the digital museum in Dunhuang. I saw some pictures. I saw the flying goddesses and those gods and demons holding the instruments. That inspired me to compose this piece. And what about her outfit? Could you tell us something about the outfit? The instruments were designed according to the Dunhuang murals, and it was a replication 1-to-1. You can actually see a original design here. You see the hair pieces she is wearing, and there is a circle in the hairpiece she's wearing. Those what we call the sky people are actually people who play the musical instruments, which are different from the goddesses. Aside from the instruments inspired by Dunhuang murals, we also have instruments from Xinjiang. Mukam also enjoys thousands of years history. Mukam is classical traditional music. It's an encyclopedia of the culture and music history of the Uyghurs. I will invite one of the directors to tell us something about this instrument, this style of music. Look at the performing outfits, quite different. Very interesting outfits. It was designed by our National Traditional Orchestra for our stage performance. What's the background for these outfits? These are traditional attires, of course, like the hair pieces, the hat. Like Amani Shahan, who usually performed satar, usually wear this kind of hair pieces. What do we call this instrument? Satar. Satar, this is the name of the instrument. How do we play it? How many strings? We have 13 strings in tondo. We actually only play one string, and the other are resonation strings. This is quite interesting. What about the sound quality? Could we get a chair here so she can perform for us a little bit? Wow, very beautiful. The resonation strings, I can tell they're playing a role. About mukam, what is the role of mukam in the Xinjiang culture? Is it that everybody sings to this instrument at festivals, during holidays? Yes, during the New Year festivals, we sing and dance. Mukam is our traditional, how do I put it? It's a music style. It's a collection of music. But what are the stories? What's the history behind Mukam? Well, in my understanding, Mukam is a combination of music, songs, drama, dance, because these are ancient elements of a classical music of Xinjiang. I remember last year it was listed one of the intangible assets of the United Nations. Could you introduce yourself to our audience? Could you translate for us? What are you going to perform? Can you demonstrate for us? Well, this time I'm bringing our number 5 mukam from out of the 12 mukams. I'm really honored to join this performance. Could you demonstrate for us just a small piece, a small section?
Cihanda taptılar insan riyaz etti. Rahmanlık ne? Kani Kılıp hocam, kılıp hocam, can fidalık ne?
这就是你们今天晚上演出的经历。好的，也希望你们演出成功。
Thank you so much. Wish you all the success. And this music festival, according to Mr. Ye, is also very accessible to our community. All the tickets are below 100 yuan. Few tickets are above 1,000 yuan, so we really want to bring the tangible benefits to all the people living in Shenzhen. And I hope through this live broadcasting, you can actually want to go into the theater, go into the performing arenas to enjoy our Road and Belt Music Festival. Thank you for watching.